Hi, I'm Noel. You might know me from the Unisasamiya Twitter account that I run. This is going to be my deck breakdown from ever since, well, today. I finished altering the deck today. This isn't going to be the final version of my branded deck. This is a branded deck, by the way. But it is what I'm going to be using at my next locals, which is going to be next week, and maybe I'll update the list later. I don't know. Uh, So we're going to start with probably the most important part of branded is the spells. So first of all, that's not in frame. Polymerization. At 1, this is very good. I run Guardian Chimera, and then there are going to be times where you brick, you start, or not necessarily brick, but you start, you go first, you get like 3 Fallen of Albaz in your hand. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it does happen. You'll have like Fallen of Albaz, Ad Libitum, and like 2 hand traps, and this. So you just activate Polymerization, you get Lubellion out, you get whatever you need out, and just move on. Motherfucker. Sorry, my phone. I'm recording this on my phone. It might be a bit shaky since I don't have a stand for my phone. I didn't script this. But Polymerization, good card. Run it at 1. I run it at 1 because there's just other spells. That's another thing that I run at 1. Branded in white. This is a this is a card that I'm not completely sure about whether or not I should run. If I get a third branded fusion, because branded fusion's at 2, since I don't have a third, I might cut this for branded fusion. Branded Lost. If you know what Branded Lost does, you're not surprised that this is in the list. This is a good card. This is a very good card. That's another 2 of. Reoccurring Nightmare. I have trouble recycle. I have an addiction to recycling cards. Let's say. Um, and that's not an easy thing to do with Fallen of Albaz. You can always banish your Desmian Tragedy, get Branded Fusion back, but if you don't have another Fallen of Albaz in your deck or in your hand, if all 3 are in the grave, you can't do anything. So this is for that situation. It's a one of. These are anything I'm showing you right now is a one of. You didn't see that. Called by the Grave. That's limited, so of course it's at 1. Called by the Grave, just good, just good. Dark Ruler no more. Also just a good card, just sort of a staple. Uh, Not much to say about those ones. Upstart Goblin for 39 card deck. What else can I say? And Mystical Space Typhoon, because I'm too scared not to run Spell Trap removal in the main deck. Alright, into the 2 ofs. Allure of Darkness, 2 of. I don't have any 3 ofs for my spells. Oh boy, you saw stuff you weren't supposed to see. Oh boy. Allure of Darkness is essentially Pot of Greed, except you banish 1 dark monster, which in a deck like Branded, where a lot of the monsters are dark, you're not going to have trouble with this. This used to be Pot of Duality, but since that stops you from special summoning, I don't want to use that. 2 Branded Fusion. I wish I had a third, but Branded Fusion, you have to have Branded Fusion in a Branded deck, otherwise it's just going to be bad. Do you know what Branded decks were like before Branded Fusion? They were bad. Branded in red. A very good card. You can get Guardian Chimera off of this, which it won't have the non-targeting protection. It won't have targeting protection, but you'll have a 3300 monster with removal, or you'll probably draw 2 and destroy 1. That's generally what I do with this, with Guardian Chimera. And the last 2 spells, 2 Forbidden Chalice. I I I I need some kind of negation. I just need some kind of negation in this deck. Uh, and you know what? Forbidden Chalice is pretty good. Forbidden Droplet would be better, except no. Well, yes, but also I'm not. I'm not paying what $40 for two of them. Just no. I only have three traps, so I'll just rush through them. Heavy Storm Duster. I wish this was Cosmic Cyclone. I don't have Cosmic Cyclone or Twin Twisters, but this works in their place. And Tikaboo. I love this card. I love fucking over different kinds of decks. I love fucking over Fluanderies. I love fucking over heroes. I don't have anything against heroes players. I actually really like elemental heroes, but it makes winning so much easier. So I run two of those. All right, monsters. I only have one Ash Blossom, cause the guy I traded for this with an ulti water enchantress that I pulled. The guy only had one, so I only got one. Ash Blossom, you gotta have Ash Blossom. It's the best hand trap probably. I'm not doing this in any. I'm not sorting through these anymore. Two Ghost Bell. Same. Got it from the same trade. Uh, it's not as useful, but being able to negate a special summon from the grave is probably the best part of it. Riding the multidimensional kaiju. I just need a kaiju in this deck. This is probably a monster I might end up cutting since I don't like bricking, and this is a very brick heavy card. I used to run it before I had Despian Tragedy. I'd use this as my material with Albaz for Lubellion, and then use this to get out Titanic Lad, I think. Two Contact C. Two Contact C. I love Contact C so much. It's the same as Tikaboo, where there are there are times where it doesn't do anything. There are times where you literally give someone free material, but when it works, oh my god, it works. I love this card. I love Contact C. I hate Max C, but I love Contact C. Two Springen's Kit. I wish I had a Luber. I don't have a Luber. This is the next best thing. That's basically the only reason I run Springen's Kit. Because I don't have any other option. And you know what? It works. This is a Burst of Destiny map, by the way. If you were wondering, I don't know if you were wondering. Something just got knocked over. Fairy Tale Snow. It's just a good card. It's probably going to get banned on the next list, but I don't know when that list is coming out. Nobody does, except John Konami himself, so I can use this until then. And then I'll shit my pants trying to find something to fill its slot. Ghost Ogre. Good hand trap. I could probably run more than one of these. Probably once Fairy Tale Snow gets banned, I probably will. Just because it's good. It's a good hand trap. Whatever the fuck this thing is. I don't know how to pronounce its name. But it's a hand trap technically. It negates a monster effect. And you know what? As a one of, it'll fill a slot. This is okay. I haven't played with this yet, so I don't know how good it is. But you know, as long as you're in a good situation, which I'm sorry, I'm gonna move my arm, my camera arm. Generally, you will be with a branded deck. You'll generally have a Fallen of Albaz materialed fusion monster on the field, unless you have the Despia one, Masquerade. I don't have Masquerade, unfortunately. I really want Masquerade, but oh well. 3 Effect Veiler. Why would you not run Effect Veiler? 3 might be overkill, but I mean, it's worth it. To Despian Tragedy. Uh, Outside of Mirror Jade and Branded Fusion, These are probably the best card. This is probably the best card in the deck. Like this is probably like third best, maybe tied with Mirror Jade. It's so good. You get Lubellion out, get discard something, get something into your hand. It's absolutely not a problem. It just completely fucks over the cost. To ad libitum, uh, I didn't really use this effect very much. I just uh, added it to hand with Despian Tragedy. I'm pointing at it. You can't see my finger. Uh, I would add it to hand and then discard it immediately. But it's actually pretty good. You get Guardian Chimera out using this Mirror Jade and literally any other monster. You summon back Mirror Jade. Boom. Now you have two really powerful cards on the field. There's a third. Three Fallen Val. Sorry, voice crack. I'm a little sick. Three Fallen of Albaz. Why would you not be running three of these in a branded deck? I have an ulti. Or not ulti, ultra. Oh, not ulti. Ultra, ultra, ultra. Why did I need to say that so many times? But no, for obvious reasons, I'm running three of these. Okay, extra deck time. It's over here. I'm gonna move the camera to on my arm so you can't see them yet. Linkuriboh. I like this card. And it's very good for situations where you brick with, let's say, you're going first, you have Despian Tragedy in hand, Branded Opening, and Fallen of Albaz. This is how you get that Despian Tragedy into the grave. Guardian Chimera. I've already talked about this a lot. It's very good in branded. Very, very good in branded. It's just good. It is just good. I might actually put this in a fucking... It probably wouldn't work in that kind of deck, but I might put it in a Face Card Knights deck just because, you know what? Three monsters with different names. I know an easy way to do that. Of course, you won't actually be able to summon this because you're locked to Light Warriors, but, it's a thought that counts. 2 Albion. I wish it was 3. I wish I had a third Albion. I don't normally summon this guy. I normally send him to the grave to get a branded spell or trap to hand or to set. It's very useful. Very, very useful to have that. Have that effect. One Sprint. I literally only run this because it gives me more banish fodder for Mirror Jade. I don't think I've ever summoned that in my life. 2 Mirror Jade. Again, I wish it was 3. I don't have a third Mirror Jade, and I'm not going to go out and buy the structure deck again yet. I might next week, I don't know. But I'm not going to do that right now. So 2 is good enough. Sometimes I do actually send Mirror Jade off of Mirror Jade. I was just reading the card text to make sure that's not illegal. It is legal. Okay, that's good. Sometimes I just do that because I'm afraid that Mirror Jade's going to get taken out, and then suddenly I have 2 Lubellion. Of course, I'm going to run 2 Lubellion. You should already know why by this point. If you know what Lubellion does, you do know why. But sometimes I send Mirror Jade off of Mirror Jade to destroy all my monsters, or my opponent's monsters in the end phase. Because, like, a Raigeki, that's just good. Like, Raigeki is a good card. People just don't run it. And I'm not saying that everyone should run it. But it's useful. 3 Brigand. Again, only banish fodder. Although, I still do sometimes summon Brigand. I think. No, it's Titaniclad that I summon. And 3 Titaniclad. That's my entire extra deck. I believe it's 14 cards rather than 15. I'm hoping for Masquerade. I'm hoping to get a Masquerade. But that's my entire extra deck. Again, mostly banish fodder. Sometimes it's useful, but it's mostly banish fodder. I'm gonna move this over here. Side deck time. Another copy of Contact C. I like this card. Zero Gravity. It's just kind of useful. It's not the best, but it is useful. It has its uses. And if I'm really afraid of losing, I will side it in. Drowning Mirror Force. Also a very good card. Probably the best version of Mirror Force. I don't have them memorized, though, so I don't actually know. Bye-bye Damage. I pulled this card like right when I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Out of Chaos Impact, and it's just sort of stuck with me the entire time. This is this is my guy. I like this guy. I like him. Another copy of Tikaboo. If I'm playing against Flu or Heroes, and I'm afraid that two copies is enough, but no, if I'm playing against Flu, I will always side in my third copy of Tikaboo. Torrential Tribute. It's just good. It's just a good card. Especially going first if you brick. This is a very good card to have. Compulsory Evacuation Device. It's a pretty good card. It's not as good as like Torrential. Well, actually, no, it is. I'd say it's better than Torrential Tribute because with Torrential Tribute, sometimes you get effects in the grave. What the fuck has an effect when it's sent back to hand? So, schmutz on it. Imperial Iron Wall. This is also an anti-flu gun. This is my anti-flu gun. I side this in against flu because it's funny and it fucks them up, and I love it. Very glad I pulled that. Harpies. I used to run this in the main, but most of the spells and traps I'm really worried about are just Mystic Mine, and generally, Mystical Space Typhoon is enough to handle that for the first turn, or is enough to handle that in game one. But then game 2 and 3, I'm going to have this sided in. Book of Moon. It's a good card. I mean, it's not quite as good as, well, I was gonna say it's not quite as good as whatever the fuck her name is, Fairy Tale Snow, but maybe it is. I'd say it's about the same power level wise. It's just not. It doesn't return. Dark Hole. This is something I side in against decks that flood the field. So stuff like Virtual World. Just break their board. Just fuck it up. Mystical Space Typhoon. Again, this is mostly for matchups where I am worried about spells and traps. Most of the time, just the one is enough. Monster Reborn. I don't even know why I still have this in the side. I never sided in. I just think it's kind of funny.